Welcome, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our introduction to LifeWave. It's founder David Schmidt. It's amazing breakthrough technology, and a little bit about we get to hear about you. So we'll start off our call and we'll do an introduction to the company and the history a little bit and our founder, David Schmidt. And then we'll talk a little bit about the science. I'll bring on our special guest, Dr. Barbara Jennings this evening. And we'll talk a little bit of the science and technology of the star of the show, X39, our stem cell activation patch that does a whole lot more. And then we turn things over to you. So this is a time for you to share your stories. We love hearing your stories. So please raise your hand if you have a story. And if you have a question, please write it in the chat. And remember, symptoms only. We won't talk about any disease states. You name it, you claim it. And we don't do that here. So we're a natural products company and really appreciate you staying really clean and compliant with all of us. So without further delay, I think is the right word, I want to bring on my partner on every level. Gregory, you want to take it over for me?
I'd be happy to. Thanks, Robin. Good evening, everyone. Very excited to be together with you again on Tuesday night for our LifeWave X39 introduction call and with our special doctor guests. So very excited about tonight's call. I'd like to give you just a little bit of background, as Robin said, about the company and where we're going, our founder and such. So let me go ahead and share my screen again. One moment, please. And we're going to talk to you about activating your stem cells. Before we do, I want to tell you about a realization I came to a while ago. Is I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, younger. And so we're here to talk about how to do that. And welcome to the stem cell revolution, because everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger, and stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that helps to repair and regenerate damaged cells in our organs, glands, muscles, bones, everywhere. And so the problem is, the older we get, the fewer stem cells we have and less active they become. And by age 60, only a small percent remain, and they're kind of sluggish, they're not as fired up as they used to be. And the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. That's why, a young 7-year-old falls down, skins his knee, and 3 days later, the scab falls off. A 70-year-old falls down, skins his knee, and breaks a hip. That's because of our lack of stem cells. So what about stem cell injections? They're actually quite popular, but they're quite expensive. They can be painful, risky, controversial. And there's no guaranteed results. I was talking to somebody yesterday who spent over $20,000 with unsatisfactory results with stem cell injections. So we've got good news for you here tonight, because you can look, feel, perform, and heal and live younger with a historic breakthrough in stem cell technology. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive. It's non-drug, non-transdermal, nothing's going into your body. It's a patented form of phototherapy that's actually just putting light into your body. And we'll explain in more detail in just a minute. It uses specific frequencies of light to increase and improve your stem cell activity. And this is the brainchild of our visionary founder and CEO, David Schmidt. David is not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's also a genius inventor with over 100 patents and patent pendings. And he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. And David has already conducted over 90 clinical studies, many of them double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical studies, proving the efficacy of LifeWave phototherapy technologies. And there are many more clinical studies in the works right now as we speak. LifeWave truly is a 16-year-old advanced health science research, development, and technology company. It was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology that David developed under contract with the U.S. government for the Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, performance without drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. The technology was so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes all around the world in almost every sport. We now have corporate headquarters, laboratory, and manufacturing in California, Utah, and Ireland. And we have global distribution over 75 countries with 14 global distribution centers. So let's just talk briefly, how does this amazing technology work? And as I mentioned, it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And I know that's a mouthful. It took me a while to swallow and understand that, but LifeWave products contain a very specific combination of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they're applied or near your body, they're activated by our body heat. Then they begin to re-emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulate targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. This is known as photobiomodulation and is the basis for LifeWave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light actually cause specific changes within the body. For example, we all know when we go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. We're not getting a vitamin D download from the sun, but the sun stimulates our body to produce vitamin D. Another example is when UV hits our body, our skin, it causes our body to make melanin, which is the chemical that gives us a suntan. And LifeWave's patented technology is based on the same rock-solid scientific principle. Now, I'm happy to say for the last 11 years, our focus has been in the field of anti-aging and even beyond that, regenerative science. And in January of 2019, just a little over 2 years, we released to the global market the LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patch, and it's rocking the health sciences world. This truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell technology, and some are actually calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science, because we're doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies in big pharma have not been able to do. And our X39 technology activates a specific copper peptide that activates our stem cells, and in addition also alters gene expression in over 4,000 of our genes towards a more younger and more vibrant you. And yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. Yes, we have field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, this is very exciting information. So that's my short little tee it up for you, Robin and Dr. Barbara. So I'm going to stop my screen share and turn it back to you.
Okay. I always love watching that. It's wonderful, honey. and we've got some other compliments there. I think they just came to the panelists. So this evening, and we also wanted to give a warm welcome if this is your first time learning about LifeWave. That's a lot that Gregory shared, but keep it really simple. Just know that stem cells are really important. And we're going to learn more about that in just a few minutes from our special doctor. So we have with us this evening Dr. Barbara Jennings, and she is a chiropractor out of Fort Collins, Colorado. She does functional medicine. She had her own challenge and a chiropractor helped her out of it. So now she really has this expertise working with autoimmune and thyroid conditions. She's a specialist. She also teaches NIA, which is a fusion of dance, martial arts, yoga, and mind-body fitness, has 7 children between she and her husband. She incorporates LifeWave into her practice as a very busy chiropractor. And she's also a professional wellness alliance provider. So maybe we'll learn about that one. But she's in Fort Collins and we love having her on. And Dr. Barbara, would you please join us? There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening.
I love seeing you, all your different colors, because sometimes I think it's kind of fun. So let's jump in here. As a busy doctor, you get approached a lot with all kinds of things. What is it that got your attention about LifeWave?
Well, my friend Michelle Niels is the one who told me about LifeWave X39, and it was really stem cells that caught my attention, and the ability to get more stem cells with a patch and not with injections. That's really what got my attention. I myself wasn't in pain, so I had done some research and looked into possibly adding that as another, offering in my clinic, but hadn't made any decisions because I would have had to hire a PA, basically someone else, and it was a big hassle. So I was interested in stem cells, but I didn't want to go through the hassle of doing injection integration. So I decided to give it a try. And the ability to activate stem cells so easily and so affordable got my attention really quickly.
Love it. So you were actually doing your research, and it was kind of complicated to bring someone else in because only certain people can give injections and things like that. And it is kind of complex and expensive. So why are stem cells so important for people? And what are you noticing with your clients and patients?
Well, stem cells are important because they are the beginning of every cell. Every cell begins as a stem cell. And any time your body needs to heal something or repair something, it needs a stem cell to do that. And so as we age, our stem cells decline. And so the older people get, typically the slower they heal, and the more tired they get. Health problems seem to start adding up. We lose the ability to keep up with normal wear and tear, much less in more serious things. So excuse me, the ability to increase your stem cells becomes even more important as we age.
That's so true, so true. It came in the nick of time for me. I'm
Yep.
very, very grateful. So we have many different products at LifeWave, and Gregory explained the technology of photobiomodulation. We have this product called X39, and it is the star of the show. What does it do, and who is it for?
Well, it's for everyone. I just put one on my 11-year-old today because she was thrown from a horse and hurt her shoulder. We're not even sure what exactly is wrong, but the first thing I did was put an X39 on her shoulder. I also put him on my 86-year-old father. So everybody in between. They're really for everyone. They're for everyone who wants to keep up, like I said before, with normal wear and tear of everyday life. They're for people who have a particular injury or issue that they want to heal that maybe is slow or chronic, or a surgery that they want to recover from well. They're for people who are tired, people who don't sleep well, people people who want to look and feel younger.
All right. So
Yeah.
basically for most all of us. And what are some other things that we can, kind of look forward to as some other potential benefits? Looking, feeling, performing younger. You said that. Sleeping better. What else?
Well, there are lots of benefits. Not only the benefits of stem cells, which are, stem cells, the type of stem cell that X39 helps us make more of is the pluripotent stem cell, which is a really desirable type. There are different types, but this type is further upstream, and it has the ability to differentiate into more different types of cells and different types of tissues. So the stem cell availability, increasing the number, increasing the variety of types of tissues you can repair is huge. But before you even get to more stem cells, the first thing that this patch does is stimulate the GHK copper peptide. And I know we always recommend that people please do go Google that, GHK-CU, or just the GHK copper peptide. So when Gregory was talking about photobiomodulation and how the sunlight can stimulate your skin to make vitamin D, there's a certain frequency of light that causes that biochemical reaction. And there's a different frequency of sunlight that causes the production of melanin. And there's a different frequency of light that hits your eyes and causes, waking up chemistry, or melatonin and going to sleep chemistry. So we're all very, very light sensitive. And this patch actually contains the nanotechnology gives us a frequency that stimulates the GHK copper peptide. And I tell people, if that's all the patch does and you never even got to stem cells, it would be worth it, because the GHK copper peptide has many benefits just by itself. I tell people it's the coolest thing your body makes that you've never heard of.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that one. That's a great one. That's a great one. So before we go on, we want people to see what it looks like. It's a wafer thin, about the size of a quarter. We put it on. So could you tell people, how do you maximize the benefits? How do you use these patches?
All right. Well, they're designed to last at least 12 hours. And so that your body doesn't adapt to that light frequency stimulation over time, it's important that we have a time on and a time off. And so the recommended time is 12 hours each, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Some patches are designed to be worn during the night. Many of them don't matter. They can be worn day or night. So the time on and the time off, then because the copper peptide is what is key to this working, it's important that you have enough copper in your diet. And so it's important to eat foods that are high in copper. If you don't like any foods that are high in copper, then you can find a copper supplement. I just tell people take care to find a copper supplement that is bound to another molecule. If it just says copper alone, you don't want to take that, because that can become toxic to your brain. So copper chelate, copper bisglycinate, something like that. If it's in a long word, then it's probably okay.
Well, that's when long words are good. I like that. It's that's wonderful.
Yeah, like the Breyers ice cream commercial.
Yeah.
And then it's important to drink lots of water, right? Have minerals so that your body can absorb water and be well hydrated, because water carries electrons. Water is very conductive, and light is the signals that we get from the light is going to work better when our bodies are well hydrated.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'd love to hear one of your favorite stories with one of your patients. And then we'll open things up for people. If you have a question, please type it in the chat. If you have a story you want to share, raise your hand and we'll call on you. So while you're thinking about that, why don't you share a favorite story with us about a surprise that you totally didn't expect?
Sure. Just one? I have so many.
Oh, well, you share more. Share a favorite one. Yeah.
Okay. I think I've shared Bob before, but Bob is one of the first 3 people who taught me what X39 can do for people. Bob at the time was 86 years old and had a compression fracture of T12. I found out about this. His wife was a patient of mine, and I found about it 2 months after. So he'd been suffering for 2 months, excruciating pain. The doctors gave him or told him to expect 9 to 12 months to heal because of his age. 86 years old, that is a long time to heal from a fracture. And they had prescribed prednisone and narcotics for pain and told him he would probably need those 6 to 9 months. And she was going crazy dealing with a really whiny, needy, in pain husband. And I had just gotten my patches maybe within a week or two. And I said, want to try these? And yep. So she orders some. They come back a month later. Both of them walked in my office with smiles on their faces. In just 1 month of X39, Bob had gotten off both of his medications, and he was smiling. And he's like, I feel great. My energy's coming back. And his pain was way down. And 1 month after that, she said she had to call him in to come to stop shoveling snow. Like, you really shouldn't be shoveling snow.
At 87, after
Right.
an injury.
Right, with a compression fracture.
Oh my
So
God.
the doctors cleared him as being completely healed after 5 months total. That was 3 months of using patches. So that really got my attention.
That is really beautiful, because as we age, what we heard Gregory share earlier, we have less stem cells, and the ones we have are not as effective as they were when we were younger. So to be able to
Right.
help enhance quality of life as people are getting older is so beautiful. So now we want to turn things over to you guys. So if you have questions, please type them in the chat. If you have a story to share, and I do see one hand up, so let's handle that one. And I'm going to allow you to talk. And I'm not sure how to say your name, so I don't want to, let's see. So you can, you should be able.
Hi, it's Paul.
Oh, it's a hello, Paul. So what story would you like to share?
No, I have a question, actually.
Okay, Paul, what I'd like to do is have you type your question in. We have people raise their hand for stories, so please type your question in the chat, okay? And remember, symptoms only. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah, I like to do that because I have to monitor things. So I really thank everyone for your compliance. And so Elizabeth is asking us, how are telomeres affected by the patches?
So I don't know exactly how telomeres are affected. I do know that telomeres age faster when there's more inflammation, and when there's poor sleep, and when there's a lot of toxicity. I believe that telomeres, correct me, Robin, I believe telomeres are maintained or even lengthened with this patch. Is that correct?
Well,
Do you know?
We're going to be finding out really soon from David and some new studies about this,
Okay.
the answer to this question, which we don't have yet. But my understanding
That's what I thought. I
is we
haven't
have
heard.
some things that are being studied right now in relationship to telomere length. So we're going to be able to answer that question, Elizabeth, a little bit down the road. Okay, so let's see. Anne Fishburne is asking, how many X39s can be worn at one time? That's a really good question. They're all good questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good question. How many can be? You can wear multiple. The question is, do you need to? The chances are you probably don't need to. However, I know several people in special situations will use more than one. So, if you've got two painful parts, you might benefit by wearing one on each, or you might want to incorporate an ice wave on one of those areas. But yeah, you may not get double the benefit or triple the benefit with 3 patches.
Okay, so when would someone, typically we say 1 X39, but from your perspective, Dr. Barbara, when would it be an opportune time for someone to wear more than 1 X39?
Well, the circumstances I've seen is post-surgery. People have worn, especially if it's a large incision, like an open heart surgery. I've seen people put one on each end of the incision, or a very long, leg fracture. So if there's something long, people have used one on each end, and they've healed marvelously well. in good time.
Okay. And I recall that very well after my procedure. I had one here and one on my knee. And, just I say it shortens the commute time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
if there's an
Yeah, so-
accident or a procedure or something that is very acute, it might be time, but typically most people only need one because it is systemic. Yeah. But
Yeah. I wouldn't wear more than one on a regular basis, special circumstances, maybe.
Okay. And Ravel had a comment she wanted to share. And she said, that Alavita elevates a peptide, which in turn lengthens the telomeres per David Schmidt. Why he said if you could only use 2 patches, use X39 and Alavita. I understand that you're focused on X39 now. Yes, we do focus mostly on X39, but we sneak in some of those other patches because they're good to know about too. And Alavita, do you want to share a little bit about Alavita, even though this is an X39 call? Barbara?
Well, I know Alavita is one of the kind of the sleeper benefits. It has pretty profound benefits, as she mentioned. And, I really recommend people find the webinar that David Schmidt did all about Alavita, because we can't possibly cover all of it right here. But, the main use that we talk about with Alavita is skin, helping the skin heal, helping the skin age slower or even maybe reverse age. It's an antioxidant for skin as an organ. And skin as an organ does a lot of things. So anytime you can help your skin and protect it, you're going to get a lot of benefits.
Beautiful, beautiful. And David likes to wear it activating the pineal gland, the brain of the brain. So think about that, activating the brain of the brain. Okay, we have a few questions that have come in. Nancy Noble's asking, are any of you going to the conference on the 26th? David is going to be speaking in Long Beach on this coming Saturday. I will not be attending, and I don't know if anyone else, but you can write in the chat if you're attending, and maybe Nancy can meet you. And Paul wants to know, when you talk about water consumption, is it pure water, iced tea, beer? What are you referring to when you talk about water?
Well, as someone who's interested in health, I'm talking about pure water. There are things that can count as water, but a lot of those things have a dual role of being a diuretic. So if it's an alcohol, like beer is, I would not count beer. I wouldn't count wine. I wouldn't count alcohol. Coffee, I personally, I don't count coffee either, because it's a diuretic and it's working against you. So, I like natural spring water, some kind of filtered pure water, distilled water with minerals added. To be well hydrated, it's part minerals and it's part water.
So liquid does not mean water.
Right.
Because many times iced tea
Yeah.
is caffeinated and, like you said, could be a diuretic and actually is dehydrating, and so is alcohol. So learn to love water, and you can add some flavoring in it if you like, but just straight water is what we're talking about. Yes, thank you for that question, Paul. That was very helpful for a lot of people, I think, because sometimes we misunderstand the definition of drink a lot of water and pure water. So Wendy would like to know, dealing with severe inflammation in low back hip area, can you double up on Eon and X39?
Absolutely. Well, double up, what do you mean? Use both at the same time or use 2 of each? You could do both. I mean, you can absolutely use both at the same time. And you could use 2 of each. Today, I saw a patient who has really horrible back pain, and they have experience with the patches, and they found that he feels best with 2 sets of X39 on his back down to his sacrum.
Okay.
That's what helped for him. He also was wearing a pair on his head for a headache. So he was wearing 3 sets of Ice Wave actually, and his X39.
That's great. And sometimes I just put it on some of those total body pain points like kidney 1 on the bottom of the feet. If I've got places hurting in more than one place, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good thing for people to try. Instead of plastering yourself with patches, if you have a lot of painful joints, try left the tan Ice Wave on kidney 1 of the bottom of your left foot and white on the bottom of your right foot, and see if that doesn't help.
Beautiful. And you can look up kidney 1. It's on the bottom of the foot. It's where the curve under the ball of the foot meets the curve under the 4 toes, and it's kind of between the 2nd and 3rd toe. And so the white one goes on the right foot and the tan one on the left. It is a 2-patch system. So I guess we have time for one more. Sharon says, I've been patching with X39 for 9 weeks and using Ice Wave and other patches for some inflammatory condition in her hips and can't find relief. Do you have any suggestions as to why and what else I might try?
Okay. Hips, right? Inflammation and painful hips.
Yes. She named a disease that I'm not going to name. So
sure. All right. And using X39 and Ice Wave without good results?
Correct.
Okay. So number 1, I would make sure you've got the 2 foundational things covered. Make sure you're well hydrated and you're taking minerals. And the other is make sure you've got enough copper in your body, because if you don't have enough copper to make the copper peptide, then that can't trigger stem cell production. So make sure that those are covered. And people can message me if they want to know. I have found a supplement, a multivitamin mineral that I like with a good form of copper in it. So if you're not finding relief with that, I would try adding the glutathione on top of it, literally on top of it. Also the Eon, and you might get better results by adding just glutathione or just Eon or both of them together. I know Dr. Nicholas will stack all 3 of those on top of each other. The X39 and Eon and glutathione.
And Ice Wave. He'll do all 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, so try more. I think anytime there's a lot of inflammation, and I've heard David Schmidt recommend this, when you have inflammation in a joint or an area, your X39 is actually going to work better if you reduce the inflammation also at the same time. So I got fantastic results with my husband's really arthritic bad shoulder when we put an X39 right there where it hurt the most, and an Eon in the front and a glutathione in the back. And better results than I could have hoped for, actually. So I would recommend address the inflammation and see if the X39 can't work better.
That's a wonderful answer. And David actually did a webinar on pain management, and he talked about the 4 patches that Dr. Barber just talked about: X39, Ice Wave, Eon, and glutathione. All 4 of them have pain relief benefits, and getting the inflammation down in Eon is just, like you said, masterful at that one. And so this might relate to the next question from Jackie. My mom has pain in her legs on and off, and she's wearing X39. What else? I think we might have just answered that.
Just told you. Yep.
There you go.
Glutathione, Eon, maybe Ice Wave.
Yep. And try them. And everybody's different, and you can't hurt anything. And, just holding the patch can make a difference. And Victoria wants to know, how do we contact you about finding out about that vitamin supplement? And for those of you, Dr. Barbara does telemedicine conference calls as a consultant. And so what's the best way to reach you, Dr. Barbara?
All right. I'm putting in my email address. It's drb@drbarbarajennings.com. So you
Great.
can email me there.
Great. Okay, wonderful. Any other final comments, Dr. Barbara?
Experiment, have fun with these. You know, I spent a long time talking to a new person on the phone today, and it's really fun to talk to a new person, because once they get an idea of possibilities, then they just start saying, what about this? What about this? What about this? And my answer is, yes, try it. Try several.
I love it.
Combine the inflammation reducers with the X39 and give it some time. And you know, we see what we would otherwise call miracles, except we know that they happen all the time.
They do. And aren't we lucky to live with miracles every day? It's so wonderful. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you so much, Dr. Barbara, for being with us this evening. Thank you, everyone else who came to the call. And if you're brand new, please get back to the person who invited you. We have a really wonderful customer program. And we also have a program, if you're the kind of person that likes to share, you get very well compensated. So please ask about either one of those to find out what's the best fit for you, knowing that the product does come with a 30-day risk-free guarantee. So as Gregory says, you've got nothing to lose but your health to gain. And thank you, everyone, for being with us this evening. And this call will be on Live Younger YouTube tomorrow. You can find it on our YouTube channel, and you just go to the playlist and find the Tuesday night calls, and this call will be up and available for you if you want to share it with anybody. And thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Gregory.
All right.
Tech support.
All right.
Okay.
All right. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.